Michelle Dixon. I have been in Qatar for 4 years. I work at Sidra Medicine. Originally, I'm from Australia. I'm an art therapist, so I work with children, adolescents and their families when they're in the hospital. I've been doing it for about 12 years. It's a really rewarding job. I get to talk about feelings and emotions and getting children to think about their life from another perspective. But also my job is to make the hospital less scary. Children feel more comfortable, that they can process their feelings in a more age-appropriate way and really start to enjoy creativity and what that means. Art therapy is relatively new, so it has two main approaches. The first is that art making in itself is therapeutic, that it can be like a meditation, a way for people to relax, a hobby that they can learn a new skill and sort of learn about their identity. It can also be the way to talk about their feelings. The second part is that it can be a stress reliever, it can be like a meditation, it can be a really good way to challenge yourself, that you see the world in a different way through doing art, and it really highlights your identity and something that can bring a lot of joy. I have worked with all ages. I think it's important that anyone can do art. So at the moment I work in a children's hospital, so I mainly work with patients and their families. But in the past I've worked with like infants and their mothers, helping to build attachment. I've worked with adult palliative care, so people at the end of their life, they're reflecting on their experiences and they're wanting to make gifts for important people for them. So yeah, it's very diverse. I've worked with all different ages, like 2 to 80. I think it's really important that children experience art and get to explore a wide range of art materials and learn at their own pace. It's not about making a beautiful picture, it's actually about enjoying the process and trying something new. I think museums and art galleries are really important for society. I think it's a really great place to reflect on our history, to learn about new things, to learn about new cultures. I know I use museums myself as a way to relax and think about my life. I'm always inspired by museums, especially Qatar Museum. The building is absolutely beautiful and it's like you're entering a new world when you enter. And you go through and you connect with certain objects and you want to learn more. Museums are becoming more socially inclusive, so there's more programming now that people can participate and do activities and reflect on artwork, and that's really important. So I think people are having that open dialogue with museums. I've just been to the Pipelotti wrist exhibition and I loved it. I think it was really clever, beautiful use of space and colour and light. It really embodied what I imagined the brain to be and that sense of community and connection. I loved the different colours and how the cool and the warm colours created a different mood and effect. I just love standing in the lights. I think there's something very awe-inspiring about it. I think it really talks about the neurons around the brain. I could really feel that within that space. And it really sort of made me think about my own brain and how those thought processes are made. All this evidence coming out about how museums and art therapy are really compatible and how the community is starting to use art from a more mental health perspective. So I am part of a research team within the region that is learning about how to use art therapy in museums. So I'm doing an online group with adolescents with anxiety and depression. I've been really lucky that Qatar Museums has partnered with us and they've allowed us access to beautiful photos and their collections. And so I'm building a program around that. So using things from this region and allowing adolescents to reflect upon that and do their own artwork, reflective response, really capture and understand the artwork from a different perspective. The history is very important, but also how they see the artwork and how it impacts them, and their connection with the object is really powerful for themselves and also that therapeutic experience. The one thing I would tell people about mental health is that everyone experiences difficulties at some time, that you are not alone. It is difficult, but there's so many services and things that you can do to help yourself and help your family or a family member that's been affected. I think it's important to think about mental health within a bigger picture, that you need to look after your body, you need to exercise, you need to eat right, you need to sleep well. That impacts your mental health.